You are now watching a clip from the Inspired by show. You can watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and follow the show. I know for a fact when you started your entrepreneurial journey, you wouldn't have called it consciously starting an entrepreneurial journey. Like, your route into entrepreneurship was probably quite unique. In the same way, I think a lot of your stories, your life experience has been quite unique. So flash us back now to that moment where you joined this marketing company as an employee, let's be clear, and what happened next.
Okay, so I started as a freelancer, just doing a couple of hours a day at home. So it was that, and within about 4 weeks, it was like, oh, could you do actually, we'd like to employ you, just like 12 hours a week, part-time. 6 months in, I'm full-time and essentially second in command in the business. And this is my first job in the marketing world. What's going on? I'm always trying to figure out the timeline, because sometimes you have conversations, you don't realise at the time how much they're going to be part of your story. So you sensible people have a break from the desk. So myself and the business owner are having a walk around the building, and she says to me, we talk about exit strategies, because she'd had a business previously that she'd sold, and we were talking about her experience of selling that business. And she started to talk about what would happen if she ever wanted to exit Green Umbrella, and that she would want to do a management buyout, and was that something I'd be interested in? And I'm walking along and I went, yeah. And in my head, I went, what the fuck is wrong with you? I thought you were a normal person. You're supposed to be inspirational and clever and smart, and you think I can do this? Like, what is going on? I'm like, yeah.
It was one of those say yes and work out what the hell I've just done later.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it was a casual conversation. It was one of those conversations where you think is never going to go anywhere anyway. It's ridiculous. Like, whatever. And probably over the next couple of years, couple of years, that one question developed into actually quite a serious conversation. And then it became a bit of a plan. And the plan was for it to happen in 2020. And in about October 2018, I said, if we're going to do this, we need to do it now.
And just to be clear, management buyout is where an employee buys out the owner.
Yeah.
And so this is what you'd committed to doing.
Yeah. So literally in the October 2018, I said, like, seriously, if we're going to do this, let's do it. And between then, basically October 2018, 1st of April 2019, I bought the business, and the previous owner, like, literally signed the paper, went to the office, picked up her stuff, and left the business.
Wow.
We'd already done the crossover. There was no earn-out. There was no, it's like literally, see you later. And
That's
it's
incredible.
weird because we'd worked so closely together. We had a really good working relationship, and after the sale, after the MBO, I think we had coffee maybe once, and then I've never, and not even seen her since.
Question for you, Christina. So that thought process in your head when she first mentioned it, where you're like, I'll say yes, but inside I'm like panicking. What the hell have I done? What, you're mad? You think I'm worthy of this? What shifted to you then actually going, this needs to happen now? Like, what was going through your head in those moments?
Okay, so to be clear, when someone, so you talk about babies a minute ago, right? When you see someone's baby, you go, oh, how beautiful. You don't go, what an ugly fucker. So there was no thought behind that response. Do you want to buy my business? Yes. Would you want to buy my business? No way. You can keep that. There wasn't any, like, it's an automatic response. Hey, how are you? I'm good, thanks. You don't think about it, you just respond. There is only one response, right? So, like I said, there was nothing in my head. My whole thought process was, you're mad. I could never do that. What happened was, I got to a point in time where I realised, well, I am doing it. So why shouldn't I have the rewards? And this business gave me a quality of life that I loved. It allowed me to do things that I loved. And this is probably the wrong thing to, like, God forbid any of my clients actually hear me say this, but I bought my lifestyle. I got a business too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a slightly different thing.
Yeah. But I totally agree, because it can't be a business without meeting your lifestyle, right? Because then it's just a very stressful job that's stretching you too much and then ending up in another batch of burnout, which we've all felt. So I actually think it's really inspirational that you went, actually, this gives me the lifestyle that I want and the passion that you want. And even when you talk about it, even now, years and years after that you've been part of Green Umbrella, let alone before you even owned it, you're still just as passionate every time you talk about it.
I mean, I love it. I just love it. It's been such a part of my story. It's really interesting, actually, some of the questions that you've asked me, because maybe this will help answer those better. I'd become so much part of this business that, because all of a sudden I was so much more than average. I knew stuff that other people didn't understand. Not just clients and prospects, but friends and family. All of a sudden, I could serve these people and make the biggest differences to them. I could take that business from the point of failure to 7 figures. So all of like this, less than average, it was like, no, that's not a thing anymore. I can believe it if I want to, but the evidence is here. And so my identity then became so wrapped up in the business. It's like all my plans were it wasn't Christina's plans, it was Green Umbrella plans. And it's interesting because it's probably only the last 2 years, if I'm honest, where I've kind of gone, actually, that's not a badge of honour. So, okay, I know what Green Umbrella is. I know what it is. I know as a beast, I know what it looks like and feels like and smells like and tastes like. But what were all the answers to that in terms of Christina? And I feel that, yeah, a lot of the questions you've asked have actually just come into fruition in the last 2 years. Yes, probably the last 6 months, to be honest. And I've kind of really found a place now where I am. So I feel like I inspire now. And it's like a frigging big-headed thing to say. It's like, I was an employee, I had the opportunity, I bought the business, I've done all right since. To me, is not an inspiring story. Had a shitty upbringing, got out of it, had a few hurdles along the way, did this, did that, brilliant, great. There's for every story I can tell, there's another 100 million out there. But what I'm doing now, I feel that when you look at someone and you think, wow, I want to, that's inspiring, I want a bit of that. You can't really put a label on it. You don't know what it is. You don't know what's that thing that they're just emanating that you want to bottle and have for yourself. And I just feel like I've got it in spades now. And I can't even tell you what it is.
That was